I guess it's goosebumps tonight. Getting to these Lost 45s now. I love these Lost 45s. Amy Grant just talked about that, Find a Way on my fantasy playlist. And we're getting into the top 10 on my fantasy playlist. And we're getting into we're getting the standards now, songs that everybody's familiar with. Huey Lewis and the News, Bryan Adams, Pat Benatar, Corey Hart, Aretha Franklin coming up. But I want to get into some of the top 40 extras as I go up the top 10 because that's really what I get into is the Lost 45s and the top 40 extras on the back of this fantasy playlist. As you can see, one of them I have not heard this song in years. Just listened to it a couple of times on YouTube and it just brings it back. Goosebumps just crawling up your spine. Long Justice. Remember Long Justice? Sweet, sweet baby. Maria McKee. Lovely, absolutely fantastic singer. Kind of a country cross pollination of pop and country singing. As a matter of fact, Long Justice started out as sort of I hate to use the word country rock, but I'll just use the term country rock anyway. Formed in I think in the early 80s, don't have the exact year, 1982. Ryan Hedgecock and Maria McKee, they shared a love. They formed this band. They shared a love of rockabilly and country music. And they were part of the so-called cowpunk scene in Los Angeles. Now, I know when you get into a huge sprawling city, whether it's New York City or Los Angeles or London, you get into all sorts of possibilities. I haven't quite put my mind around the cowpunk scene, but they did very well performing in the nightclubs over there. As a matter of fact, they tore up the house at the Whiskey a Go Go show they did at the Whiskey a Go Go. They blew out the house right there, just brought it down. The legendary Whiskey a Go Go. Anyway, when they formed this band, Ron Hedgecock and Maria McKee, they added a bass player and they added a drummer named Don. It's either Dan, I believe it's Don Heffington, former drummer for Emmylou Harris. And they signed a deal with Geffen Records with some help by Linda Ronstadt, started on their debut album. Geffen Records kind of pushed them as the next big thing, and their debut album just didn't sell. And I do remember the push back in the spring, maybe early summer of '85, when they came out with Ways to Be Wicked. Night Tracks were like, "This is it, man. These guys, you gotta check them out," and they deserved it, but they just didn't take off. A lot of the FM CHR stations were extremely conservative, particularly a station like I-95 in Birmingham that wouldn't play anything, and Long Justice was ignored, except maybe on college radio, maybe some of the album rock stations. They'd fit perfect in the country today. Since country's gone more pop, they'd probably fit perfectly in today's country music. Well, anyway, the chart positions says it all. Ways to Be Wicked went to number 71 on Billboard's Hot 100. Sweet Sweet Baby peaked at number 73. That's it. And just looking over my notes, see if there's anything I want to add. Maria McKee, she's in her 50s now, about 53, 54. I don't know. I still keep coming back to the days when they were so promoted. They were heavily promoted. And it just didn't work out. It's a shame. They put out some nice rockabilly. The album that came after that did even worse. It was a commercial. It was a commercial flop. It was called Shelter. The single did well, went to number 26 on Billboard's Hot 100. Did better than Ways to Be Wicked, but they sort of departed from their rockabilly roots and went more with the synthesizer and the drum machines that were so prominent in 80s music. Well, gosh. Long Justice. And by the way, one other thing, Maria McKee, I checked on what she was doing of late. This is 2017 video. This video cut in 2017. Now, don't quote me on this, but she is supposedly in pre-production mode on her 7th solo album. If this album comes out, it'd be her first solo album in 10 years. And it's due out sometime in 2018, but I don't have an exact date for it. But keep an eye out for it. Long Justice. Sweet Sweet Baby. Top 40 Extra on my fantasy playlist of August 10th, 1985.